Hello out there. Good evening. Just wanted to check in. I have been super busy throughout the week, just getting a lot of things done. I hope that you all have had a great week and are looking forward to counting down towards the holiday, towards Christmas, and towards the end of the year. I hope that you are living intentionally, that you are moving intentionally, that you are operating each day intentional, authentic, with purpose, with passion, with integrity. And so just wanted to come back on. This week I have not really been able to promote and highlight my new journals. The 6 new journals that were just launched on Monday, have not really been able to push and promote them as much as I wanted to, but I definitely felt a push and a pull to talk about this, to highlight one of the journals and talk about it tonight just for a few minutes. So all of the journals, there are 6 inspirational journals. I kind of backtrack a few steps, getting ahead of myself. So I am a 2-time NICU mom. My name is Brittany, and I am a 2-time NICU mom. I had my babies almost 20 years apart, y'all. I was a teenage single mom at the age of 18. Had no clue what I was doing. My daughter was born I was about 7 months pregnant when I had her. My water broke on my 3rd shift job, y'all. And so by the grace of God, absolutely grace of God, she is now a thriving 21-year-older, 3rd year in college, doing amazing. And so it has been a road. It has definitely been a road. I now have a almost 2-year-old, so 20 years apart. Had my 2nd NICU baby last year, and he is wonderful, beautiful. Couldn't have asked for a better little fella. And he's almost 2, and he was born almost 3 months early. And so we had a 3-month hospital stay. And so coming out of that, man, I would have to say I would call it at a moment depression. Came out of just depression, just really struggling with processing everything, especially after waiting 20 years to have another child, and then to have a child and to go through all that we did. It was a punch. It was definitely a gut punch. And so did a lot of soul searching, did a lot of praying, a lot of fasting, a lot of counseling, a lot of mentoring, you name it. Just seeking out wisdom, counsel, guidance, God, and by the grace of God, we are absolutely on the other side of it. And I know that it is no one but God. And so now we fast forward, and we are in December 2025. And at the end of September, I published a inspirational healing journal for NICU families. So it highlights NICU families, but it absolutely is available and able to be for moms and dads and families who have experienced any kind of birth trauma, pregnancy trauma. That's what it is geared towards and for. And so I highlight, as I said, NICU families, but it's called After the Trauma, a NICU Mom's Guide to Recovery, Self-Care, and Restoration. And so in there, I highlight self-care points, mental health care, just focusing on mental health, self-care, as well as just the recovery process and what that kind of looks like from a NICU mom standpoint, also from the teenage standpoint, because I was a teenage mom now over 20 years ago. And so I did not intend to write about my experience. Back in July, we had the beautiful opportunity, myself and another fellow NICU mom that I met in the hospital last year, had the beautiful opportunity and idea to gift the NICU families, all of the NICU families that were in the hospital where we were. And so we put together some care packages and thought about things that we would like to receive, that would mean something to us when we were in there. And we put together 70 care packages. and delivered them to the hospital. And when I tell you, that was just so, it was so healing, it was so freeing, it felt so great, it felt so good. And we're actually, myself and another NICU mom, we're actually gearing up to do it this month as well for all of the families, to give care packages. I'm just letting them know that they're loved, thinking about them, highlighting resources that are available to them, things that I didn't know were available to me when I was in the hospital, and then also just self-care, promoting self-care resources, mental health resources, and that's something I'll talk about in the near future because that was a big gap that we found when we were in the hospital. Mental health and self-care resources were lacking very lacking, and that is really amongst the top need, on top of the health aspect. And so yeah, so we gifted those families, and I'm telling you, within probably not even maybe a week's time of giving that gift, I received the inspiration for this book. And the book was written in about 1 week's time. When I'm telling you 1 week's time, about a week and a half, I had about almost 90% of the book done. And I have never written a book so fast in my life. And at the end of September, I had the privilege of publishing that book. And I do have that with me. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. I do have that book with me just so that you can actually see it. I've got all my books. So I have been doing some work this week to get out to bookstores and see how we can. I'm online now. Just so you know, we are online worldwide. When I'm telling you, I've seen the book in websites based in Australia. I think I saw like Korea, all major book sites. So like Barnes and Nobles, Walmart, Amazon. I'm trying to think, Books A Million, and I was like, I was not expecting that. And so my books are self-published, and you can just literally go in, type in, you can either go in, type in Brittany McFadden, or you can type in After the Trauma, a NICU Mom's Guide to Recovery, Self-Care, and Restoration. And so this is the first book. That's the first book, and it is a healing journal, and I'll also be coming on and kind of going through, but it is a beautiful healing journal that turned out so beautifully. Turned out beautifully. It turned out very beautiful. So this is the first book, After the Trauma, a NICU Mom's Guide to Recovery, Self-Care, and Restoration. It's a healing journal, so you can actually walk through, and that was the intention behind it, that it not only be a book, but that I could walk through the steps of healing, and just the different areas that came to mind that often we struggle with, and that struggle can last long after the NICU stay. And so how do you process through that? How do you cope? How do you not just struggle and get through it, but how do you thrive after you go through that process? And even afterwards, most families have appointments and, follow-up appointments and therapies and all kinds of things. And how do you really just come out of that better and on top? And so tonight, really quickly, and I will come back on and do something a little bit longer, but tonight I'm highlighting, I will say this is going to be the premiere book because this is not the book that launched it all. I received the idea after I finished my first book. I heard that I would write another. And I'm like, okay, what is that? And so I started getting inspiration for different books. And then I also ended up receiving the word that I would do a 90-day journal. And I was like, okay, so that is just a little nod to our almost 90-day hospital stay. And so when you're in there for 90 days, okay, how do you get inspiration? How do you heal? How do you cope? How do you process? So we have a 90-day journal. That's the Faith Journal. And that is actually an exclusive that is only available to order directly through myself and through the publisher. And so we do have that available. Sorry, y'all, my lights went out. We're gonna get them lights back on, sorry. So that is available, but then also this is a highlight. So I had the idea to write 6, and when I'm telling you I sat down, no, I had the idea to write 1. Let me slow down. Had the idea to write 1. I'm excited, y'all. And when I sat down to write 6 popped out. Like literally it was just, they were coming together so fast. And so this is one of the ones that I want to highlight. This is the very first journal, inspirational healing journal, that I'll be highlighting. And this is Grace. This is Grace. This is the NICU Mom's Inspiration Grace Journal. The NICU Mom's Inspiration Grace Journal. And so this is the series. So the series of, so this is not an actual book, but this is a journal. A lot of times being in the hospital, going back and forth to appointments, back and forth, there are a lot of things you have to write down. So whether it be things that the doctors are saying or the nurses are saying, or whether it be thoughts or feelings or processing emotions or just what have you, reminders, appointments. And so all of the journals are made with intention to be small enough to go into a clutch purse. And so I have my clutch purse here, and when I'm telling you, I've actually got a book in here now. But all of these were made with intention. This is actually my very first book, my proof book. I actually carry it with me, and I'm still reading. You see I got my little tab in there, but I'm still reading. So yeah, so these, I mean, very easy to go into a clutch. But the thought is, you don't want to have a book that takes up a whole lot of space. And so, like I said, all the journals were made with absolute intention that they could fit into a really small space, not take up a whole lot of space, but they'd be very meaningful and impactful. And like I said, I will go through, it's beautiful on the inside. That is, oh my gosh, it is beautiful. On the inside, and I'll hopefully share a little bit more. Trying to do this one hand thing is a little bit, but there's some blank note space, but then there's also some inspiration note space as well in here, where I've got like little quotes. Sorry, I'm tearing up my book, but where I've got like little quotes that I'm giving inspiration, and you can see like Grace at the bottom of the page. And so yeah, so these are the first set of journals, 6 journals. There is Grace, Hope, Refresh, Faith, Bloom, and what's the other one? Grace, Hope, Refresh. I'll think it'll come to me. Actually, I'll let you get a peek at these. Are just my proofs now, so changes have come, but this is Faith. Yes, Faith Journal. This one is changing. The cover is changing on that one. So we've got Grace, Faith. There's another NICU Mom book. Okay, there we go. That's the one I left out. Peace. So we've got Peace, the Peace Journal. And seeing these in person, it's really hard to, I won't say it's really hard, but you don't get the full effect of the beautiful colors. The full effect. But Refresh, the Refresh is available online. Here we go. We got Hope. There's Hope. Hope is available online. And we got Bloom and Bloom. Yay! And Bloom is available online as well. Get my glasses back up. Sorry. But yeah, so I intended to only show Grace, but y'all got a sneak peek of the others. But I'll come back on and kind of share the significance of all the other ones. But the Grace Journal, this journal is very special to my heart, because my grandmother's name was Grace. My grandmother's name was Grace, and I did not know I was going to create a journal called Grace, but my grandmother's name was Grace, and she passed in 2021. She had COVID, and she had some other health conditions, but the COVID that mixed with it, it just did not, she declined, and that was a really hard time, because we were on lockdown, and at the same time that she had COVID, my father also contracted COVID, and he was in New York, and then she was in the state where I live, and that was really hard. And they both passed about 6 months in between of each other. And so that was a hard year. That was a hard year and a hard hit, but she was a beautiful woman, a wonderful woman. She fought with passion. She fought with compassion. She loved hard. She taught us well. She taught so much. I've gleaned so much from her. And I can do nothing but honor her. And I'll probably have to do another clip and just talk about my grandma. But so this is absolutely a highlight. I could not make this little journal any more beautiful, just in honor of my grandmother, Grace. Who lived her life with such grace. She was a retired teacher, and meet so many people in the street that are like, your grandma taught me, your grandma taught me, and she just changed their lives and impacted them so much. And so she impacted me as well with just her commitment, her consistency, her fight, her grit. And then when I look back on the story of her life, just knowing what I do know of it, when I look back on the story of her life and how she fought for her family, how she was a trailblazer, and how she just really broke molds and broke labels and broke past barriers in her own life, and in the generational line of her family, just to see the breakthrough and the woman that she was to really break molds, break barriers, and lead the way for us. So this is in honor of Grace. But this is the NICU Moms Inspiration Grace Journal, and there are inspirational quotes in here, and you can note and things like that. And this is available as well online, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Walmart, and other major retailers. All right, just wanted to come on. I hope that you're living your life with intention, with grace, with integrity, with patience, with clarity, with hope, and with a sense of urgency to do the right thing, at all times, at all costs, do the right thing. Love people, love God, just live life full. All right, God bless you.